Today on Listening In, we're not going to be listening in. Instead, we're going to be looking at email communication fails. There's a lot of email going around out there, but with these ones in particular, and it didn't take long to find, there's small things that we can do to make huge strides and improvements. Let's take a look. Hey everybody, appreciate you joining another episode of Listening In with Seth. So we've got a really amazing topic today. I think you're going to love it. And that is a topic that we've explored in the past. And we talk a lot about communication on this show. It's what it's all about. But there's different forms of communication. Now, normally we're jumping in, we're listening to a phone call. And that phone call is an interaction between a recruiter and some type of candidate for an open role. So today what we're going to focus on and do a little bit of a throwback is an episode we did in the past about email communication. Now, what a lot of companies do, and I do think it can be extremely effective when done right, is once a candidate puts in an inquiry, then the company is going to follow up with some automated drip emails, which once again can be extremely effective to stay out in front of the candidate and maintain that top of mind awareness, try to get them to continue to progress, taking some actions along the way. So that episode, we talked about the 3 C's of effective drip marketing email, which were cadence, content, and customization. So the examples that we're going to run through today are pretty recent, the last couple of months. And as you know, I've got a persona that I use, Hank Seeker. And Hank is always out there doing research in the industry to find out what's working well, what's not working. So ultimately, we create a better experience for the candidates, which is what this is all about. So what we'll do then is we're going to look at these emails together, and they're real emails. Like I said, I just dug through my inbox, my Hank Seeker inbox, to kind of go through and see what kind of emails are out there. And so what we'll do is we'll pop those up for you so you can see exactly what's going on here, but we'll blur out any information like phone numbers, email addresses, company names, because some of these companies in particular are very good at what they do. And so we want to maintain, their anonymity because they are good at what they do. But with this show, it's all about those small incremental changes that we can make in our process that really begin to add up to create the type of experience we want for the candidates so that we can fill those open roles. So the focus isn't on any particular industry here when it comes to talent acquisition. These are things that we can learn about this email process that will be applicable to any type of role, any type of communication that is going out to potential candidates. So we'll pop these up one by one, just spend a little bit of time with each of them and talk through what we're looking at and what maybe could be better to just tweak it just a little bit and be even more effective. So let's look at this first email. So once again, something happens on the front end, right? So Hank Seeker's out there on a company website, fills out kind of a small inquiry or starts the process of looking into a job, and then waits and sees what happens next. So on this first one, here's an initial email to Hank Seeker. And it says, "Hello, Hank Seeker. Thank you for applying to the unavailable variable position." All right, so right off the bat, we can see that something's broken in the system to where it's probably supposed to populate the job that I looked into or Hank Seeker looked into, but it didn't. Instead, it called it an unavailable variable position. So let's say that same day, I was out there looking for multiple jobs, right? Kind of filling out some inquiries, beginning the application process with a number of companies. And I'm getting these emails chances are I might not even remember the specific maybe role that I was looking for, if it was a particular lane for a driver, or maybe a particular shift for a technician, something like that. But with this email as a follow-up email that goes on to encourage me to upload a resume to my profile, saying that I might be missing out on some career opportunities. So, jump on it right now, go upload my resume. So the other thing that I was thinking when I got this email is, with hard to fill roles and positions, especially for those really competitive industries where everybody's looking for that same type of maybe driver or technician, whatever the case may be, or any position, we need to make it very easy on the front end, right? Remove as much friction as we can. Not all friction, right? Because we only want serious individuals, but however much friction makes sense to remove from it. And by asking me to upload a resume, that creates a lot of friction. So now I've got a lot of these individuals that might be looking might not have a resume handy. And if that's the next step to move forward in the process, then we could be missing out on those group of people that would like to learn more about your job before they go ahead and create a resume or do a full application. So go through your own process, right? And you'll start to uncover some of these things like unavailable variable position, which nobody knows what that means. All right, let's go to example number 2. So in this example, we're actually seeing a lot more of this where people are using their ATS, in this case, it's 10 Street, to help fill roles outside of just driver jobs. And something that I've noticed, though, as more companies are using it for other roles like technicians, is they haven't adjusted their drip marketing to accommodate those different roles. So here's a situation here where Hank Seeker filled out an inquiry form for a technician role. And the very first email that comes his way is talking about driver positions. So it's, and I've got highlighted in red here so we can easily see things like helping professional drivers. We believe that the best drivers. And then it goes on to talk about home time, which really isn't that applicable to maybe a technician. And then it goes on to talk about different lanes. So you can see the verbiage here is all about what? Driver positions, when that wasn't the thing that was filled out at all. Something easy, once again, go through your own process and you'll start to uncover some of these little tweaks that could make a significant difference and impact when you add them together. So making sure that the email that goes out is tied specifically to the role that that person was looking into. All right, let's jump to the third one. Boop. All right. Number 3. So on this one, this says, we'll read it together. Your account has been created. Thank you for registering your account with the company's name, Careers. Please check back with our career site to view our openings and apply for jobs. Thank you. So what I find interesting about this one is, once again, I was looking into a specific job, but it doesn't mention anything about that. The other thing here is, in order to even begin the process of filling out an application, I had to create an account. And that adds a lot of friction on the front end when here's a company that I could want to work with. I just want to learn more information, talk to somebody. But I've got to create an account. And a lot of times when you create an account, you get a confirmation email that you have to click on to confirm that you're a real person. So all this just to submit an application, which is just a ton of friction on the front ends and doesn't make it very easy for that individual to get what they're looking for right off the bat. So if you're going to send drip marketing out, please make sure that it's specific, right? That's one of the things we talked about is look at your content, make sure it's relevant, but then customize it. So looking at this one, my name, Hank Seeker's name, isn't used at all in this email. The position I looked at, not included. And then all it is asking me to continue that process of setting up an account before I can even look into it. All right, so now we'll jump to our last example, which is a two-parter. So for part one, there we go. Once again, stuff blurred out so you can't see it, but was on this company's website looking at their career page, and nowhere on the careers page could I fill anything out. So there was no short form option, there was no full application option, but what it encouraged me to do was for information on how to become part of this company is to email a specific careers email address. So I thought, okay, well, I'll send them a simple email that says, hey, I'm interested in this position, and then I ask some simple question. So what do you think my response to that email was? So I will pull it up here, real screenshot. So the response to the email was that my message couldn't be delivered. The group careers only accepts messages from people in its organization or on its allowed senders list. And your email address isn't on the list. So there's no option for me to fill anything out on their career page. It points me to an email address to ask questions or to begin that process. I email the email address, and the response I get back is it's only an internal email and that you have to be on the list for that to be delivered. So how is anybody going to get to that website and continue the process? So some easy things here that by going through your own process, you'll begin to uncover these little opportunities to clean it up and to make it a better experience, because with this, I wouldn't even know what to go. I guess I would have to go back to the website, try to find a phone number, some other way to get in touch with them. That's a lot of work. I'm just going to go somewhere else, right? Especially if there's similar job offerings elsewhere, I'm going to go there and look. So I can't say it enough, but go through your own process. And you'll really begin to uncover some of these small things that have to do with the cadence of the emails going out, the contents, and then also the customization. When we get those three things right, email can be a great tool in this recruiting process. So hopefully you find that helpful. We'll continue to talk about communication that happens between the recruiter and the candidate and small ways to make it as effective as possible so that you can fill those roles. All right, good chatting with everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.